let's head on over to our lesson for today, which is another review. So we can just staple in all of these rules for E and really get good at it. All right, number 1. I want the word to be phlegm. Phlegm. F-O-E-M. Consonants first. We have F-O-E-M. Can I spell the E sound with just an E here? No. In order for this to say E, it has to have another vowel 1 or 2 doors away. I'm not going to put it at the end because this pattern, E, consonant, silent E, is usually reserved for longer words. Short words, you usually see that EE there. Okay, so there's phlegm. Yeah. Okay, yours. Spleem. Spleem. And my mouth is closed at the end. Nice. Spleem with an M sound at the end. Excellent, well done. So we have that 3-letter blend at the beginning. S, P, O, skipping our vowel, filling in all our consonants first. What would that word say if I left the E spelling with just an E? Just to yourself, what would that word say if I spelled the long E sound with just an E, if I tried to anyway? Well, it can't make its long sound because there's not a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. So it would have to make its short sound, and that would say splem, right? Splem. So if I want that to say E, there has to be a vowel, another vowel, 1 or 2 doors away. I'm not going to put it here because E, consonant, silent E, is usually reserved for longer words. This is a short word. I can tell because there's only 1 vowel. And in short words, that long E sound is typically spelled with an EE. So that is spleem. Make sense? Okay. Yeah, you could also spell it this way and not be incorrect. However, this usually follows a C. So we usually save EI for a C that comes before it, but we'll get to that. We'll get that opportunity here in a second. Okay, number 2 is steady. Steady. We have S, T, D, E. I can already tell that this is 2 syllables because there are 2 vowels that don't touch. So if it's a multi-syllable word, then that qualifies as a longer word and follows those rules. So steady, we have S, T, D, E. For the S sound here, can I use just a single E? I mean, yeah, but if it's going to say it requires 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, you make 2. A short vowel sound must have 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, double the next sound that you can hear. And then E at the end is usually spelled with a Y. E at the end is usually spelled, oh, very good, you got those double D's, excellent. It's usually spelled with a Y. Why wouldn't we spell the E sound at the end just like that? Because E's at the end usually don't say E, almost never. They're usually silent. So if you hear the E sound, use a Y. Almost always. Okay, number 2, your number 2 is spreffy. 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 Nice. Spreffy. All right, so our consonants are s, p, f, e. I want the in the middle. I'm going to start with an e. However, requires two consonants after it. If there's not two consonants after it, you double the next consonant that is there. And then, there we go. And then the e sound at the end is usually spelled with a y. Excellent, well done. Spreffy. Got every single one of those sounds. Excellent. Okay. E feet. E feet. Let's do this one together. We have e, f, e, t. Now, consonants first. E, f, e, t. Okay, so for the e sound, I'm going to start with an e. Can that say e in that spot? Yes, because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. So this guy is perfect. We don't need to do anything else. I want this to also say E. I'm going to start by putting the E there. Can that say E in that spot if I don't change anything? Nope, because it would require another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. So if I want this to say E, which I do, I need to put another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. I could put it here, but that is usually reserved for short words. Only one vowel in them, a vowel sound. So I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to use the E consonant silent E pattern that is saved for the end of longer words. Okay, longer words meaning that there's more than one vowel that don't touch, more than one syllable. Now I can say E feet. And that guy says nothing. Your word. E bead. E bead. Can you remind me when to use the Y at the end? Yeah, so I have a question. Can you remind me when to use the Y at the end of a word? Almost always when you hear the E sound, like in happy, pretty, candy, city. Almost any word that you can think of that ends with an E sound, it's going to be spelled with a Y. This is probably going to be 90 to 95% of the time. If you hear the E sound at the end, you're going to spell it with a Y. Your only other option is an EY, but that usually comes after an LL, an N, or a K. So that's much less often. Y is going to be your go-to spelling for the long E sound at the end. All right. Okay, we were on E bead, consonants first, B and D, E bead. This E sound, I'm going to start spelling it with an E. Can I leave it just like that? I can, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. This E sound, I'm going to start with an E. Can I leave it just like that? I can't, because there's not another vowel 1 or 2 doors away. If there's not another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, I put another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. My two choices are here or here. I'm going to choose this one because that is reserved for the end of longer words primarily. Okay, the double E is usually for short words. The E, consonant E, is usually for longer words. Okay, let me take a look at the chat. How'd you guys do on that one? Gorgeous. Sometimes the BD can be confusing, like which one, if I did this to you, would you just want to slap me? Right? I mean, BD can be a little bit confusing, especially when you throw P's and Q's in there. So if this gives you a headache, then there are some techniques to make that a little bit easier. But if you spelled it, I don't consider reversing a B or a D on accident a spelling error. That's a directionality issue. It's not a spelling error. to me. So if you just reversed your B or your D, you still spelled it right in my book. Okay, number 4. Now this one has 3 E sounds in it. So I want you to take your time, try to remember, this is a review for what we've done this month. Try to remember all the different ways to spell the E sound determined by the letters that are around it in this word. I'm not going to give you any more clues. Should I? Probably not. I mean, I just have a feeling you're going to do just fine. Okay, your word is Brecenti. Brecenti. Actually, we're going to do this one together. B-R-E-C-E-N-T-E. B-R-E. Spell the S sound with a C in this class. This lesson, I mean. S-E-N-T-E. You can try to fill that out on your own for just a second before I go for it, those vowel sounds. All right. You might be wondering about this guy. This is going to be the hardest one to determine how to spell the E sound right there. Okay, there you go. Yay. All right, so we have this E sound I can spell with an E, no problem. I don't have to add any other vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots because there's already one right there. I can tell by that dot. This E sound I'm going to spell with an EI because that is the common spelling for the E sound after a C. EI is the common spelling for the E sound after a C. The rule is I before E except after C. So this letter will be anything except a C. If there's a C there, then it's going to be EI. And then for the E sound at the end, I'm going to spell it with the most common way, which is a Y. All right, try this one. Spell the S sound with a C. Crescendi. Crescendi. And spell the K sound with a C. So let me set you up here. Spell the K sound with a C and spell the S sound with a C. Crescendi. There's a N in the middle, an N in the middle. Crescendi. My goodness. We have some fast learners in this class. Crescendi. Beautiful. Yep, just like that. Crescendi. I hope it feels so good to do so well. Okay, consonants first. Actually, let me give you another second. Sometimes I go too fast. My apologies. Crescendi. So for the K sound, I'm going to spell it with a C because that is the most common spelling for the K sound. If there are 26 letters in the alphabet, 23 out of 26 times, you're going to spell the K sound with a C. You're only going to spell the K sound with a K 3 out of 26 times. And I'm going to teach you that in its own lesson. So your default for spelling the K sound is to use a C. Okay, it's almost always. So K, E, S, E, N, D, E. For my E sound at the beginning, I'm going to use just a regular E. It works just fine right there because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors away. I don't have to do anything else. This E, if I want this to say E, it does need another vowel 1 or 2 doors away. I'm going to use the I because it comes after a C. And then the E sound at the end is spelled with a Y most of the time. So there is Cree Scene D. That was a doozy. That was a hard one. All right, let's do just a couple more. These are coming from your extra practice. So if you've got these, then you'll be ahead of the game for your homework. Let's do, Okay, I'm not going to do your extra practice. I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I want to teach you this. This word that I'm about to teach you starts with an X sound, as in example, extra, excellent, explain. Whenever you hear that, spell it EX. Okay, that's something for your notebook. Whenever you hear X at the beginning of a word, don't use just X, except for the word X-ray. You're always going to spell it with an EX. Extra, explanatory, exclamation is always spelled with an EX, okay? So I want your word to be X-team. X-team. Go ahead and try it. X-team. It's kind of like extreme but without the er. X-team. Yep. There you go. Yes. So in X-team, this X sound, that is the sound that X makes. It sounds like a silent KS. And then we have the T and the M. So now we need our vowel sounds. Is spelled with an E, and it works just fine here because there are 2 consonants after it. For the E sound at the end right here, I'm going to start with an E, but I can't end there because in order for a vowel to make its long sound, it has to have another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. If there's not another one, make another one. I could put it here. I could put another E here, but that's usually saved for short words. So I'm going to use the E consonant silent E at the end. X-team. Well done. Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Gorgeous. Okay, let's end on just last one. Bleen. Bleen. Go for it. Bleen. And I'm starting it with a B, like a boy. Bleen. Yeah. And then my mouth is open at the end. Tongue is at the top of my mouth. Bleen. Okay. I know it's hard to tell on the mic if it's an N or an M, but it's an N like Nancy at the end. Bleen. So I have B, U, E, N. I'm going to start spelling the E sound with an E, but what would it say if I just left it like this? The long E sound requires another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. If there's not one there, then it's not going to be long. This would be forced to make its short sound, and that word would say blen. If I want the E sound, I need to put another vowel 1 or 2 doors away. Since this is a short word, it's going to go right here. Now, how do you feel? Did you find an answer for my question last week? I want to know if you see or an S. Oh, I'm glad you asked me. No, I haven't, but I'm writing it down right now. I mean, I did think about it, when to use a C or an S when spelling. I just haven't found an answer that I like well enough yet because it is so inconsistent. All right, so I want you to think about how good you are doing. I've been looking at your comments and your words coming in the chat, and I am so impressed. That was beautiful work. You learned some really complicated rules for E. E is a hard letter, so is A. We're going to learn I next, and I is such a friendly letter. It's like Y. I love I month and Y month. You're going to love it too. So well done for conquering E. Hopefully you feel amazing. Let me just look at this last question here real quick. Can GH make the F sound? Sometimes. Can GH make the F sound? Yeah, sometimes. PH is the second most common way to spell the F sound. But GH can once in a while too. Good question. All right, my friends, I'm late for reading. I'll see you over there if you're coming. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next month. Bye, everybody.